Welcome to the podcast where we talk about all things blended families. I share my personal journey, again I repeat, my personal journey from a StepMum's perspective. It is also a time for reflections and new realizations. Join me as I try to unpack the last 16 years of my life. This is my story, and in case of any exaggeration or dramatization, trust me, it's purely coincidental. To Mike and my family, and also my extended family, sorry, not sorry. Welcome, guys, to the second episode of the StepMum podcast. Before I start, I just want to say thank you very much for the warm reception of episode 1. It was a very big encouragement to continue doing this. It's not easy for me to be vulnerable. It's quite tricky, but it's the only way to tell my story. So thank you very, very much. For those who watch the bloopers, please, mpendane, the L word, love your person and say it in public. Do not be like me. Today's topic is a hot one. You've been asking me to talk about this for a long time, and I'm finally ready to share my tips on how to deal with the ex. This is my partner's ex. And it's as simple as you don't have to deal with the ex. You don't have to. Because when they're signing the contract, you are not a witness. So you do not have to deal with the ex. It's as simple as that. Let the person who brought the ex to the picture deal with it. It is easier said than done, but at the end of the day, in a blended family, there are so many issues. I don't want to be dragged into issues that are not necessary. Someone would ask, how do you not deal or communicate with the ex? It's as simple as you don't engage. I personally chose not to engage for the sake of my peace of mind. You have to understand that the ex or the person who was there before doesn't know you. It's nothing personal. As long as it's not them, they will have an issue with whoever is there that is not them. So that is number one. So I'll talk about different scenarios. Scenario number one, definitely before they agree on who's keeping the children and when, most of them have to go to court to deal with the custody issue. Now, when Mike is going to court, I'm not going to escort him. No. He goes alone. Ajisot. I'm not going to be there in solidarity. No, you go and fight your custody battles with your person alone. So that's case number one. Case number two, usually where it also gets tricky, is when it comes to the drop-off and pickups for the children. So, for example, the children need to go see their mom and they have to be dropped. I was very clear about it. I'm not about to meet your ex and be awkward about it. No. Because I have nothing to tell her. I do not want to engage. So what usually happened, or what usually used to happen, is Mike will drop off the kids. And when I mean drop off the kids, it's easier to drop them off, for example, if it's in school. And then the mom will pick them up from school, bring them back on Monday to school, and then now we will pick them up after school. So that's why I'm very keen on do not engage. Do not be caught in the middle. Because in this situation, don't forget, people are hurt. Both sides are hurt, and it is easier to blame or to put your anger in that one person who's neutral. So don't be caught on the fire line. Don't be caught. A third scenario is when making big decisions about the children. So in this situation, when you're a stepmom, you take care of the children, you do all the work, but you're not given the rights. What I mean by being given the rights, for example, when it comes to making big decisions, when it comes to making decision about the school they go to, which doctor they'll go to, sleepovers is another one, which is also a big decision. So usijitume. When it comes to big decisions, you step backward. Let them decide, so that I am not caught again in the fire line when they say it's me. If the children want to go for a sleepover, the mother or father have to decide. All me I need to be told is when they need to go for the sleepover, I'm with them, drop them to the sleepover, pick them at a certain time. Why am I saying that? Is because if anything happens in those sleepovers, it will be your fault. And they will say, you know what, you didn't care about them because they weren't your children anyway. So in this scenario of being a stepmom in a blended family, wacha kujituma. Don't give yourself work that you don't need to, because the repercussions will be dire. Let's say we have teacher-parent conference, which is a good one. So what happens? In the beginning, before things settle down, the two adults are fighting. So you're going for teacher-parent conference. I will go, then she will also come. I bump into her. Who do you think the teachers will talk to? They'll talk to the mother. So instead of struggling, just don't go. I will only go to the teacher-parent conference when I know Mike is not there or the ex is not there. But there's no point of both of us going there and then we look like fools and you have other things to do. Keep yourself busy doing other things. So that's what I mean by when it comes to the big things, let the bio parents decide. For me as a step parent is to sit and facilitate what they have decided, but I only facilitate in my house. Because in my house, my rules apply. On the other side's house, their rules apply. As the kids get older, someone will ask, you know what about graduations and birthdays and things like that? For me, from my experience, when it comes to birthdays, because I stay with the children, I'm a step parent who stays with the child all through. So when it comes to their birthday, if their birthday lands when they are with me, I will celebrate the birthday. If they go to their mother and the birthday lands when they are on the other side, she will celebrate the birthday in her own way. But there is no way for a birthday I'm having Mike and his ex and me. That is too much stress. A birthday, they can celebrate on both sides, depending on where they are. When it comes to graduation and things like those, because the school will only have one graduation, one. So this is where now we have to, all of us, be adults. So we'll come with Mike, because also I don't want to miss a child's big day. And she'll also come, maybe she'll come with her partner or she'll come alone. What I will do is we will come. Once the event is done, I will take the picture of the child together with Mike and we will leave. We will leave to go home and let the child enjoy the rest of the graduation. If they want to go for lunch or they want to go for dinner with their mother, because I live with them most of the time. When they come to my side, we can celebrate the graduation. So when it comes to events like those ones, because the school can't do more than one because they want to accommodate your issues, you take the higher road. If it comes to weddings and it hasn't come yet, but I still have a plan, always trust me, I have a plan. That's another thing about being a stepmom. You have to be 10 steps ahead. So if it is a wedding, the ideal situation will be the mother will definitely come, and I will come with Mike. She will have her table. She will be asked how many people she'd like to invite. That will be sorted out. If it's taking one of my children down the aisle, please, by all means, let the mother and father take them. I don't need to add pressure and say I also want to take them down the aisle. No. Let the mother and father take them down the aisle, and then we can all celebrate and be cordial to each other. Because again, a wedding is a one-off thing. We don't want the child to be anxious, worried if the adults can't adult. The next one is getting involved in their issues. What I mean by the issues, I'll give you a real-life example, especially when they're in court for custody issues, or they're just back and forth for a certain issue for the child. You know what happens when your partner comes home? In this case, Mike will come home and he will start, complaining, oh, she did this, she did that. Ears closed. I don't want to know, not my problem. I don't want to entertain him venting about the ex or their issues. No. So what I do, I close my ears for real. I say, I don't want to have this conversation. And then at the end of the day, again, I wasn't there when you guys were agreeing and signing the contract and getting married. You can't come and start venting for me. Especially when it's the first 5 years when they're still back and forth over so many issues, custody, implementing the court's order and stuff like that. Because what happens, when he comes to vent on me, he's dumping those things with me. And ladies, do not be confused about when you meet someone and it's the time where you're deeply in love and you just sit there and you get invested. Ati alisema, alifanya, si shida yangu. Please, 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 do not come and vent with me. You're not dumping it with me. Mujipange, mujisort. So you choose to not have those conversations because you start getting invested and then you're left there in the middle. This has just made me remember a time when, and it's always those first few years, you want to look good. You want to try your best. You want to give above and beyond, unajituma. So I remember there was a time there was a teacher parent conference and mi niko huko na notebook nimejipeleka. The teachers are usually round in a hall. So every teacher you go round. Mi niko huko na notebook na kachini. When you sit down nakwambia, and who are you? You start saying, I'm so-and-so's mom. Yeah. She says, no. You're not the mom. I can't be discussing because your name is not in school. In school, it's the mom and the dad. It was such an awkward moment. I felt like such a fool. Nilikwenda kufanya, until their father goes to school and says that this is a situation. I have a wife called Kathy, and in case the mother or me are not able to come, she can come. Because the teachers were looking at me like, mini nani sasa? Even mi niko najiuliza, niko nafanya? I've just remembered something many people usually ask when sometimes the ex, and the ex can be both sides, if you're the one who came with kids or he's the one who came with kids. So when the ex says nasty things or try to badmouth you in front of the children or trying to badmouth the other partner. And just to make life harder for you, I've gone through that. Again, I repeat, it's just a matter of when the child brings it up. It has personally worked for me. I just say, you know what, maybe she was having a bad day. If it's your partner who is a man, say maybe he was having a bad day. Don't dwell on it, because then it's also very hard for the children when they come to confide in you and they're asking the questions because they've been told this and that, and they're asking, is it true or not? So it's only be an adult about it. Say, you know what, it's not true, and maybe someone was just... So be the adult about it. You just need to address it as simple as it's not true, and maybe they were having a bad day. But we are human. Sometimes inachosha. Sometimes you'll find yourself just also maybe saying something as nasty as, kama huku ni kubaya na wanasema tukutaki, si basi wakuchukue. You can't keep saying, it's not a good environment. For example, she doesn't like you. She just likes your dad for money. And that's what most people will say. See, then, if this is a really bad place, can they take you then? It's ever happened to me before. And you try to be the bigger person. Saa zingine pia unasema, hata mimi acha nikuwe the smaller person. Unasema kama basi, they're not happy here and I don't want you. After I've stayed with you for more than 6 years, bado pia wewe una believe I don't want you. Basi uende wakuchukue basi kama mimi ni mbaya hivyo. Kasema. For you to have, for me to be at 22 and gone, and I said yes to 2 baby mamas who are 18 years older than me and 4 children and the mess. People need to understand you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you have to be those people who don't care. If you don't have confidence, they will finish you. So to wrap it up, if you're a stepmom somewhere, if you're starting this journey or you're in between the journey, or it's been many years like me, I think the message today is, number 1, don't engage. Don't engage so that you don't get hurt. Number 2, don't go and overvalue your position or go and, again, usijitume. No, don't go there and you're working so hard, alafu, someone makes you feel bad and you sort of want to give up. 3, you need to have a lot of confidence. You need to have a lot of confidence in what you're bringing to the table. You need to have a lot of confidence personally to be able to be in that position. Because if you do not have, they will chew you, they will finish you, they will rip you apart. So you need to have a lot of confidence. Number 4, you tell your partner, deal with your ex. It is not my problem. Handle your ex. Number 5, do not come crying to me about what your ex has done or hasn't done to you. It is not my business. Again, I will say, I was not there when the contract was decided. Misikuwa witness. So things like those you separate. Number 6, at the end of the day, it is in the interest of the children. So my interest is not in pleasing anyone. For me, it is what is good for the children. And when you overdo it, or when you try so hard and you look like you're threatening the position of the bio mom, trust me, that is not going to go well. When it comes to big decisions, let the bio parents make it. Again, I said mine is a facilitation of what they have decided, of what they have agreed. When it comes to the back and forth in terms of maybe the ex is poisoning the children, that usually happens in the beginning because it's a tough one. People are really hurt. People are going through a lot. People have also lost. Divorce is a tough thing. I think in the hierarchy of grief, divorce is second, if I'm not wrong. So feelings are a lot. Feelings are up there on the surface. So be very careful. I'm not saying walk on eggshells, but don't put yourself in a position of compromise where it's easy for people to hurt you because they're hurting. And sit down with your partner and tell your partner, you will have to deal and to do this for me. If you want me to be here to support you, please deal with your ex. I am not refusing that sometimes when you don't have a high conflict ex, it would be amazing to be able to co-parent with the ex. If it's possible and they are all mature and the pain is not there anymore and they have accepted, wonderful, amazing. I would love to do that. But if it's not possible, then take the cue and just maintain the peace. Sit in your corner, do what you have to do, and don't get too involved in issues that are not your concern. It's a very, very tough environment. You don't need to be putting yourself in the middle, getting attacked and hurting yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to make it, and you'll be out of this equation of blended family faster than you know it. And the ex, it's actually it's one of those things that make blended families not work, by the way. It's a wrap on this episode. I feel like I'm slowly getting into it, getting to be relaxed, being able to tell my story. It's not easy, vulnerability, but thank you so much for the support. And until then, keep stepmothering at your own risk. Bye-bye, guys.